From an Easter egg that requires you waiting over 150 hours to the funniest detail in the Family Guy game, these are 27 AFK secrets in video games. The Witcher 3 has been out for 8 years, but there's always that one Easter egg that nobody finds. The devs started to call it the last secret, and it wasn't until 2022 when Exlatalis finally uncovered it. One of the characters in-game is Vivian, a woman who slowly transforms into a bird due to a curse. Once you get to the end of her questline, there is an option to cure her, but Geralt reveals one problem.
The changes will be irreversible. You'll probably also only have 7 years left to live.
Now, little do we know he wasn't kidding, because players who waited the entire 7 years could return to Vivian and watch as she drops dead on the spot. Although, things are a little less morbid when it comes to SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. While remaking it, the devs had the chance to add irrelevant Easter eggs, so whenever you leave the room to grab a snack, there's a chance you'll return to see SpongeBob mocking you. If you like playing as Patrick instead and do the same thing, he'll actually do the surprised meme face from the movie. Kinda reminds me of GTA San Andreas, which has way more detail than you might remember. For a PS2 game, Rockstar didn't hold back, and that's why CJ won't just stand around and instead breaks into his favorite songs.
Move your body, move your body.
Now, it's understandable if you want to put down the controller and grab a drink. I mean, we all need coffee sometimes, but not as much as Audrey from Bendy and the Dark Revival. At the very start of the game, she's hard at work animating and decides she needs some coffee. Well, actually, the choice is in your hands, and you can press X to stand, but what if you just sit there waiting? After a full 20 minutes, she'll actually get sleepy, doze off, and then the credits will roll. Moving on to a classic WWE game, SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 is loaded with secrets. Like when you're in career mode, eventually it'll be time for the Royal Rumble, and backstage you'll get a number that tells you when to enter the ring. But if you just sit there and don't accept it, Mickie James will say this:
I'm getting the feeling you just like watching me do this.
Continue being AFK afterwards, and pretty soon she'll get pissed.
Okay, I'm done spinning. Take your number and get out of here. Good luck.
A more recent game is Pizza Tower, an indie platformer inspired by Wario Land. The reviews on Steam are absolutely insane, and once you see the details, you'll understand why. At the very start, you need to turn on the building's power, but what if you don't want to? Well, let's just say it becomes a horror game real quick. And while we're on the topic of unnecessary building's power, but once you see the details, you'll understand why. At the very start, you need to turn on the building's power, but what if you don't want to? Well, let's just say it becomes a horror game real power, but once you see the details, you'll understand why. At the very start, you need to turn on the building's power, but what if you don't want to? Well, let's just say it becomes a horror game real quick. And while we're on the topic of unnecessary Easter eggs, Far Cry 4 has an entirely different ending that you can unlock in just a few minutes. During the intro, Pagan Min invites you to dinner, but has to leave to take a quick call.
Please, stay right here. Enjoy the crab rangoon. Don't move. I will be right back.
Now, this is an open world game, so most of us are gonna run straight out of here, but if you politely wait for almost 15 minutes, he'll return. This starts a short quest with secret cutscenes, a way to grieve your mom, and then the game just ends. If you ask someone what Gran Turismo is known for, I don't think anyone would say the Easter eggs. But the latest entry actually has a hidden secret on the Mount Panorama track. Make sure to park at the Frog Hall